I couldn't hear
Hello,
you.
everyone. Thanks for tuning back in. I forgot to cut my mic on. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is the first dose of your daily vitamin. So, as you can see, we have Vice Mayor Miss Virginia Rivers from Mason, Tennessee, is here to give us some updates on the goings on. Okay, and please forgive me for being so late. Excuse me, I was having technical difficulties. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to let Miss Virginia speak.
Say good morning to everybody. Thank you for having me on your show. Uh, to bring you guys up to date from where we were, as you know, the comptrollers had that came in to take over our finances, which they are in control of our finances. You know that we filed our lawyer, Terry Clayton, along with Terry attorney Van Turner. They filed a lawsuit with the state against the state, should I say? And in the process of it, they we for TRO, which is a temporary restraining order. Well, they the judge denied that, as we all know. And with that being said, we were in negotiation with the comptrollers to negotiate an agreement. Well, we went through the negotiation for a while there, and finally, we did come up with an agreement that they accepted. We now the agreement that was accepted was that we now pay. We're from the $10,000 a month down to $5,100 a month. We no longer have to report anything spent over $100. We have to report anything spent over $1,000. They did drop the part about us not being able to file for grants without their permission, so we don't have to ask them to file for grants. However, the only way that they would have agreed to this agreement is they wanted the town to give to how would I say it? They wanted the town to sign dismissal of the lawsuit. Um, if the mayor signs the dismissal of the lawsuit, which in the lawsuit says that we cannot sue them, our successors or predecessors cannot sue them. That's in the lawsuit. With that being said, that was part of, and they have the option to be able to come back and against us later if we're not in compliance. So these were the options. The only way they would accept that agreement is that we had to sign a dismissal of the lawsuit. So the mayor signed the dismissal of the lawsuit, of course, with the agreement of the board, and it's so that they would accept this agreement. If we did not sign the dismissal of the lawsuit, then everything would have went back to where it was from the beginning. We'd have had to go back under, or stay, should I say, under the same plan or agreement plan that they had in the beginning.
Okay, so Miss Rivers, I have a couple of questions. So now I did read about the agreement between the city and state and how they said that they wanted it to be said that the lawsuit would be dropped and all of that. This corrective action plan they're talking about. Now, does the corrective action plan does that include them having a law firm or an accountant to assist you all with appropriating the funds or anything like that?
Yeah.
Because I think they said something about perhaps getting a law firm or
I can't hear you. I didn't hear the
you hear
last.
me now?
I hear you now. I didn't hear the last part of your statement after you said the law firm. But I will say this: in the corrective action plan, it did include that we did have to have. We got our own CPA. We do have our own law firm and CPA. We did get that. That is part of the correction action plan.
Okay. So, okay, so now with that all being said, you're gonna have your own CPA and all of that. Now, have you all decided whether or not you're going to in fact drop the lawsuit? Because that sounds kind of sketchy for the simple fact that they can come back and change, their minds at any given moment, and then you all have no recourse if you've already signed that you not only drop the lawsuit, but that you can't come back and pick it up, and nor can anyone that comes after you. So that just all sounds a little almost like a catch-21 to me.
It is a catch. You are right. It is a catch-21 because they wouldn't even agree. The agreement was the corrective action plan agreement would never have been accepted by them unless we did drop that lawsuit. That was the only reason. If we had not dropped the lawsuit, we would have never had the agreement. It would have went back to what it originally was. So when it all said and done, they did us no favors. They still put a catch 22, so to speak, within that correction action plan. Corrective, I'm sorry. Corrective action plan. They did put a catch 22 in it because no one, we can't come back. Successors or predecessors can come back and sue them for that reason or anything that was listed in this lawsuit. So they really was trying to be sure that they cleared themselves of being considered racist. They wanted to get all that off their record. They wanted to get rid of what they really was being sued for. And technically, the lawsuit was really just for the TRO. They just wanted to get rid of it altogether. Mud Power just wanted to make sure that he got the state cleared of what they were being accused of.
Mm-hmm. That sounds just about like it, because at the end of the day, he doesn't want that stigma, and he doesn't want it saying that the only reason they're doing this is because it's a majority black town. When, if you ask me, that's exactly why they're doing it. So what do you think is going to be the focal point of the conversation at the town hall this evening?
Basically, the town hall this evening meeting is basically to bring our constituents up to par. Let them know where we started and where we are now and where we have come from and where we are now, should I say. So that's basically what it's about. And let them ask us questions and try to answer their question to the best of our ability with the correct answer. We want our constituents to know what we've been up against. We want them to know the fight we had, and we want them to know that the comptrollers still, in their own way, have tried to make sure they're on top in the situation. So, with that being said, yes, we do have. That's basically what we're going to talk about tonight. Is to bring them up to date on what's going on. We know the media gonna feed them things. We know the media gonna frame it however they choose to frame it, but we want them to hear it from us the way it really is.
And that is why I appreciate you coming on here and taking time out of your busy schedule to come on here and explain to the people exactly what's going on. Because from reading the articles that I have read, the media is absolutely, in some instances, trying to paint a narrative. Because what they said in the last article I read, they said that you all thought that this was being done due to racism. No, it's not a thought. That's absolutely why it was being done. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, as far as I'm concerned. So yes, they're absolutely trying to act like you all had these unwarranted feelings that it was only being done because the town is predominantly black.
You are correct. And the thing is, I mean, no matter how you look at it, even if the lawsuit is dropped, the nation knows that it really was based on the fact of who's in that office now. Because you didn't do anything before then. You never even budged to come in and do anything. You didn't do anything to the people that took the money, but you're going to give us options. You're going to tell us to give up our charter or you take over the finances. You're going to tell us that we are the worst city in the state. If we were that bad, why did you wait till the blue overcome to tell us that? It was because all the money was coming through that was coming down the pipeline, and you didn't want the people that look like us sitting in the seat to have control of that money. If that's not the case, Monpower never made that issue, that statement he issued that we were irresponsible and ill capable of taking care of the finances of the town. We were never irresponsible. We didn't take a dime from the town. We tried to better the town, but he wanted our constituents and the people in the world to see that we were so bad, but we weren't. And we proved that because we had been paying those debt on that debt all along. And he didn't bother to talk to us, ask us anything. He just demanded what he wanted because he thought we were just going to roll over and let him have it. But that was not the case. When he walked in, somebody gave him the wrong idea of the wrong impression of the people that he was coming in to address. Because when he left that meeting, it was not like he thought it was going to be. Because he walked out the meeting had never ended. He got mad and walked out. So with that being said, Monpower, they're mad. They wanted, it was what it was. I don't care how many colors you paint a leopard. When you get through, those spots still there. So when you get through, it is what it is. That's just how it is. If it was an issue all these years, even he said 20 years ago, where were the comptrollers 20 years ago? Why didn't the comptroller make that man pay that $600,000 that he paid himself from the town of Mason? Why didn't you go back and get that money? No, you come in and painted a picture that the people that are in the seat now are not doing what they should with the taxpayers' money. That they are not handling the business of the town. We are handling the business of the town. And the thing is we're gonna continue to handle the business of the town. So the people need to know that this didn't just happen to Mason. People need to take notice that it can happen to any small town where there's money finna come in, and they don't want people that look like me to be in the position to have control of that money. They wanted the white man, Jeff Huffman, to take over our town. He even had enough nerve to tell us that, oh, if the county come in and take over, then y'all can keep your addresses and you can still have your parades. What kind of mess is that?
No, he didn't.
And you're gonna tell me that all he wanted was that stigma off of his name and off the comptroller, because I'm sure they was at him for what he done. Because first of all, he didn't have the right to tell us to give up our charter. That is not in his job description. But he came in with a demand that he thought he could just walk over us, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, he was expecting you all to bow down as soon as he came there. And he did everything so sneaky and on a slick side. I wouldn't trust him at all because he, first of all, sent out those letters to the people before he even sat down and spoke to you all. Then he comes and tries to strong arm you all. And then all of this stuff that happened 20 plus years ago when the other people were in office, they didn't bother not one time to come and intervene or see whether those people were misappropriating funds. Had they done that, likely they wouldn't have been able to take $600,000 and then just get up out of there with all that cash. So the ones they should have been focusing on, they've already let them do dirt. That you all are sitting here cleaning up the mess that was already made, that you all had nothing to do with, and he wants to act like you're the ones being incompetent. Make that make sense.
Yeah, I agree. But the whole, when it all boiled down, we are where we are. We wouldn't have had the agreement that we have, that they agreed to, We wouldn't have that agreement if the town didn't give up uh, the dismissal on the lawsuit. They couldn't take our charter, and that has been, I've read in the news media where people said we were allowed to keep our charter. We weren't allowed anything. They couldn't take our charter. That's the first thing that people need to know. They couldn't take our charter because we weren't in default of anything. He thought he could tell us to give it up, and we would, but they have no right to take our charter. But I'm still got my eyes open because I know that they're not right. They're not right, and the way they have written up that dismissal and the way they have written up the agreement, only way we could have gotten it is to dismiss the lawsuit. If we didn't, it was going to go back to what it was. We had to go back to the original plan.
Yes. So in other words, they gave you all an ultimatum, so to speak.
That's what it boiled down to.
Okay, so now this evening at the town hall, is the comptroller going to be there? And also, is this meeting at the town hall going to be recorded?
It won't be recorded. I'm sure the news coveting leaders, I'm sure Miss Echo Day will be present. But no, it's not going to be recorded. And know that a comptroller have no need to be there. This is the meeting that the mayor and the board of aldermen have called together to speak with our constituents. We don't need them there at all.
Okay. Okay. Well, I hope everything is taken care of appropriately on their end. Even though I don't trust them, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to double back with some more BS now that they're assured that the lawsuit is going to be dismissed, because that's the main thing of their concern. And this whole process that they have been going through, they've been trying to make sure everything's going to be beneficial for them and that everything is fine for them to come back, however they want, will, or may.
That's right. And I agree. I don't trust them either. I really don't. I expect anything from my power, and that comptroller office I do, because I know what their goal were from the beginning. I know that their goal was for Jeff Huffman, the county mayor, to take over. That was their goal because he wanted our water waste system, which is what they still want. They still want our water waste system. So I'm almost sure they somewhere trying to figure out another way to attack us so he can have control. Yeah.
Well, Miss Rivers, I wish you all the best of luck. I hate I can't be at that town hall meeting this evening, but I will be calling you to see how everything went and what the constituents had to say and how they feel about all of this. I'm sure they're not happy about the goings on either, and how everything's been handled. But this isn't the first time things like this have happened. This is something, like you said, this is something that happens often when the powers that shouldn't be don't want to see Black people in control of funding and resources because they feel like they're the ones better suited to disperse those things.
Right. Correct. Mm-hmm. I do appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be able to speak to your audience. And I just ask for your prayers because I'm a believer that God got control. I don't care what my power does. He needs to be careful because I serve a mighty God. And God will not allow him to get away with what he's doing. He will be stopped one way or the other. God has that power. And I'm just a believer that maybe
I don't think that's what he's thinking about.
He's not. But I'm a believer that Mason is going to succeed. We're going to prosper. We're going to grow. And we're going to be a bigger city that's going to look totally different. Hopefully even in the next 2 years, maybe 5 at the most, but hopefully that I'll be able to have a conversation with you again or or someone to let them know Mason has boomed. We are on the rise. We are moving on. I'm excited.
Absolutely. We'll be having that conversation
Yes,
someday soon. So I'm
yes,
going to keep, we're going to stay prayed up for you and rooting for you. And I have faith that everything's going to turn out fine. And so with
yes,
that all being said, thank you so much for taking time out to come here. I'll be getting in touch with you to see how things went at the town hall, and what the residents had to say and what they thought. And I'll be speaking with you from time to time to keep us updated. Okay. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Queen. Have a blessed one.
You have a blessed and beautiful day. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this broadcast. Everyone, let's please get some fire emojis in the chat for Vice Mayor Virginia Rivers from Mason, Tennessee. All right. So that all being said, I'll be talking to you soon, beloved. You have a blessed and beautiful day. And good luck tonight.
Bye.
All right. Peace, everybody.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away